It was a bitterly cold winter morning, the kind that bites at your cheeks and turns your breath into a cloud of white mist. Little Arham, bundled up in his warmest coat, was cutting through the park on his way home. His eyes, always curious, scanned the frosted ground. That's when he saw it. Tucked away near the leg of a lonely park bench, something metallic glinted under the weak winter sun. It knelt down, his small fingers brushing away a layer of frost and dirt. It was an old pocket watch, its silver casing tarnished and scratched from years of neglect. He picked it up. It felt heavy and cold in his palm. He held it to his ear, and to his surprise, he heard a faint, struggling tick-tock, like a tiny heart fighting to keep beat. Despite its battered appearance, there was something undeniably special about it, a whisper of a long-forgotten story. He clutched the watch tightly in his mitten and hurried home. The warmth of his house was a welcome relief. He sat down at the kitchen table and began to clean the watch with a soft cloth, ever so gently. As the layers of grime came away, the watch's true character began to emerge. The silver, though scratched, had a deep, enduring shine. He turned it over and over in his hands, admiring the intricate patterns around its edge. Then his eyes caught a faint inscription on the back. He had to squint to make it out. The letters worn smooth by time. It read, "To my son, love always, Dad." A lump formed in Arham's throat. His own father had passed away when he was very young, leaving a void that never truly healed. He had a few faded photographs and his mother's stories, but no tangible keepsake like this. Holding the watch, reading those simple, powerful words, he felt a pang of connection to a stranger's love and loss. The message wasn't for him, but it resonated deep within his heart, making his eyes well up with tears. He knew, right then and there, that this watch wasn't just a piece of metal. It was a treasure. It was a piece of someone's heart, a lifetime of memories held within its ticking gears. And he couldn't keep it. He had to find its rightful owner. He had to reunite this father's message with its intended son. The next day, Arham's mission began. The moment the school bell rang, he didn't run home to play video games or watch cartoons. Instead, he started his search. With the pocket watch nestled safely in his pocket, he walked through his neighborhood, his heart filled with a newfound purpose. He started with the people he knew. He showed it to Mrs. Gable at the corner bakery, who peered at it over her spectacles but shook her head. He asked Mr. Henderson, the mailman, who chuckled and said he'd only ever lost bills. Never anything so precious. He even showed it to the group of teenagers who were always at the skate park. They gave him curious looks, shrugged, and went back to their tricks. Day after day, Arham continued his quest. He became a familiar sight, the small boy with the big, hopeful eyes, asking the same question to anyone who would listen. "Have you seen this watch before? Do you know who it might belong to?" Most people were kind. They offered him sympathetic smiles and wished him luck. A few were dismissive, too busy with their own lives to pay attention to a lost trinket. But no one, not a single person, recognized the watch. Arham's hope began to wane, just a little. The neighborhood was big, and the world was even bigger. What if the owner had moved away years ago? What if they were no longer around to claim it? Still, he refused to give up. Every time he felt discouraged, he would take out the watch, feel its weight in his hand, and read the inscription again. To my son, love always, Dad. Those words were his fuel, reminding him why this was so important. One chilly evening, as dusk began to settle and the streetlights flickered on, Arham found himself near the old railway station. It was a place he didn't visit often, a place of goodbyes and hellos, of journeys beginning and ending. He sat on a bench, watching the last few commuters hurry by. Feeling a little defeated, he pulled out the watch one more time, its silver surface reflecting the dim platform lights. As he sat there, tracing the engraving with his finger, an elderly man who had been sitting at the other end of the bench slowly got up and walked towards him. He moved with the careful, deliberate steps of someone who carried the weight of many years. "Excuse me, young man," he said, his voice soft and raspy. His eyes were fixed on the object in Arham's hand. May I see the—" Arham looked up at the old man. His face was a road map of wrinkles, his eyes a gentle, faded blue. Arham nodded and held out the watch. The man reached for it with a trembling hand. As his fingers closed around it, his eyes widened in disbelief. A wave of emotion washed over his face, shock, then wonder, and finally a profound, heart-wrenching recognition. He brought the watch closer, his breath catching in his throat. He turned it over, his thumb instinctively finding the familiar engraving on the back. This was my father's, he whispered, his voice cracking. I can't believe it. After all these years, Bo. Quotes, the world around them seemed to fade away, leaving just the two of them on that quiet platform, connected by a small, ticking piece of the past. The old man sank down onto the bench beside Arham, the watch clutched in both hands as if it were the most precious jewel on earth. Tears welled in his eyes and began to trace paths through the wrinkles on his cheeks. He started to speak, his voice thick with memories that had long been dormant. He told Arham that he had lost the watch right here, at this very station, decades and decades ago. He had been just a boy himself, not much older than Arham. His father, a soldier, was leaving for the army. Right before he boarded the train, he had pressed this watch into his hand. "Keep this with you," his father had said, "and think of me." In the rush and chaos of saying goodbye, of trying to run alongside the departing train for one last look, the watch had slipped from his pocket. He hadn't realized it was gone until it was too late. The train had carried his father away, and he never saw him again. He had lost his father and his father's lust, gift on the very same day. Arham listened, his heart aching for the man's story. He understood now. This watch wasn't just a memento. It was the last physical connection this man had to his father. It was a symbol of a final goodbye, a promise, a love frozen in time. A soft, knowing smile touched Arham's lips. Without a moment of hesitation, he gently placed his hand on the old man's arm. "It belongs with you," he said, his voice clear and kind. It was a simple statement, but it held a world of meaning. He wasn't just returning a lost item. He was returning a piece of a life, a memory that had been waiting to be found for over half a century. The old man looked at Arham, his eyes overflowing with a gratitude that words could never express. "You," he said, his voice trembling with emotion, "you have brought back my time, son. You've brought it all back. He pressed the watch close to his chest, holding it against his heart. And in that quiet moment on the station platform, a small miracle seemed to happen. The faint, struggling tick-tock that Arham had first heard seemed to grow stronger, louder, steadier. It was as if the watch, finally home, had found its rhythm. Again, its tiny metal heart beating in time with the old man's, alive and full of purpose once more. The sound was a comforting pulse in the evening air, a testament to a love that had transcended time. As Arham walked home that evening, the world felt different. The air didn't seem so cold anymore, and the biting winter wind felt more like a gentle push forward. A deep, quiet warmth bloomed in his chest, spreading through him in a way no winter coat ever could. He hadn't received a reward or any grand prize, but he felt richer than he ever had before. He realized that sometimes the greatest gifts we receive are the ones we give away. Returning that small, lost thing had brought back not just a memory for an old man, but a lifetime of warmth for them both. It was a powerful reminder that an act of kindness, no matter how small, can mend a piece of the past and make the present a little brighter for everyone. Thank you so much for watching this story with us today. If it touched your heart, please consider giving this video a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel for more content that celebrates the kindness in the world. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, take care and spread a little warmth wherever you go.